Hello. Now, hello. I had to set up, so I reinstalled Windows 11 yesterday, or the night before, and I didn't back up pretty much anything. Some of it was by design, some of it wasn't. And so, I had to rebuild my OBS setup from scratch again, but I have cool stuff like this. My GoPro's gone. Never mind. I don't know why my GoPro randomly decided to turn off. It's been going so good so far. As I was saying, I got good stuff like this. Hello? There we go. And that. And I got a computer over here to mess with, which isn't responding at the moment because my keyboard fell asleep. There we go. Okay. So I'm slowly getting things put back together. I finally made a LUT for my camera so I look like a human being, and my GoPro isn't like super orange. It's just like normal skin tones. I still don't have matching skin tones. Like this is more of my pasty white. This still has a little bit of like reddish to it, but I couldn't remove it without making me look sickly. I probably got to mess with the white balance in the GoPro. But things are coming together, ladies and gentlemen. They are coming together. We've got the NDI PTZ camera. We got NDI. I finally ran. I was going to stream this afternoon. I was going to just spend the whole day because the kid was getting babysat. He's been well, not super. That's exaggerative. He's been kind of sick the past few days and keeps waking up at like 2 or 4 in the morning with like super head congestion and stuff. And he was at his grandma's all day today, although it was a shorter babysitting day than usual. But I was going to spend all day doing like GlitchArt stuff and streaming it. And instead I had to run a like 80-foot Cat 6a cable to my GlitchArt PC, so it finally has networking, and then get the big storage solution set up there, and then I had to clone one of the drives because that didn't fit anymore, and all sorts of headache. But we're here. We're here. You gotta stop taking pages out of Lance's titles. No, I need to learn more. I am not ashamed to admit I took a little longer than usual to figure out what the hell to title this stream because I just couldn't figure out what the right like wording should be. And it's really hard for me to put my name or my head in the headspace of like some of these ridiculous titles and like the clickbait, and like you'll see Tuesday's video. You know what? I can show you the thumbnail for Tuesday's video, so you know to look for it. Hold up. I can't show you the video itself. It is under embargo. But I can show you the thumbnail. And when you look at this thumbnail, you're probably gonna think, what the hell? But it's really freaking good, and the concept wasn't even mine, unfortunately. So here's the thumbnail. That is the thumbnail for Tuesday's video. It's a good thumbnail. It's better than the first thumbnail I made, which I can't show you because it kind of reveals the embargoed product. But the thing is, like, in retrospect, it was such an obvious, like, title thumbnail combination because it's all about, like, I've been talking about this for our mastermind group of our, like, paid patrons and stuff when we help each other with your thumbnails and titles and all that. Like, the core idea you want to come up with for YouTube these days is just, like, boiling down your video to the simplest possible idea that represents your video. And I've been saying this, but it goes further than I've been saying or thinking about it, because it's not just, like, when you think about what a video is about, like, say I review, trying to come up with something on hand. I don't really have anything ahead of me. Okay, here. Say I'm reviewing my wireless mic kit that I've been using in some of my streams and stuff. You might think, okay, I need to come up with the simplest explanation, idea, breakdown of what this is. It's a wireless mic pack. And so, old school titling would just be like, D&D Interview Connect Kit Review, and then maybe add something to the front of it of like, awesome mic. That's super old school. Medium old school of like, where my head gets stuck at is, okay, to me the video is about the mic pack, so the title should be about the mic pack. The title isn't about the mic pack because the video isn't really about the mic pack. I mean, it is, but you're trying to convince someone to care about this. And if they don't care about the mic pack and you make it all about the mic pack, you're gonna lose. But what you don't lose is when you come up with the reason why someone would want to use it. So for example, instead of the best wireless mic pack period, or I can't stream without one of these, or, you know, something that puts the emphasis on this, and then the thumbnail is like me holding it up close to the camera and being like, or whatever is like how most tech channels have been doing it lately. The title of a video like this, and I'm just making this up, you would have to workshop it a little bit more, but would be streaming with no wires, or something along the like problem-solving line of being able to stream without being stuck to your desk, about being able to like, how do I like, is this really live? Yes, it's really live. But it would be something along the lines of like, the problem that this thing is solving is not being tethered to your desk or to a plug-in scenario. And that's what the title and thumbnail focuses on. Not the mic pack, not a wireless lav mic, not explaining what a lav is. The title and thumbnail, or any of us really, yeah. The title and thumbnail would be about the problem that it solves, which is not being tethered to your desk for your audio, which is huge. That's just, I don't know. Anyway, swim team, have some news. Friend called me. Apparently he was watching one of your videos, and apparently I had donated during the recording. Well, that is freaking awesome. Thank you for sharing that, swim team. All right, so speaking of titles and thumbnails, we have the biggest thing is titles. You have to tell people why they should click on, not what they're clicking on. Yes! That sounds so simple, but so many of us, myself included, and I keep rambling about this because I am trying so hard to unlearn years and years of bad habits in here. It's just, it sounds, don't follow that rule on Twitch. Yeah, it sounds so obvious. It sounds like a duh. And like every time I hear someone preach this, I'm like, well, duh, I do that. I don't do that. What I do is I try to convince people to care about the what instead of just giving them a damn good why. And 100% the necessary strategy right now is coming up with the best why possible and not even thinking about the what anymore. And it's so hard. It is so hard. Especially from an educational point of view where like, I want people to be able to go find my video if they're asking if I've covered X, Y, or Z. Like I still want that to be apparent. It's really tough, y'all. But the thumbnail for tomorrow or for Tuesday's video answers that without actually telling you at all what the video was about. Like, I hope it does well because this is the best luck I've had like attacking this concept. And again, it wasn't even my idea. That idea was created by my mod, Cujo. Like, I'm sitting here like, well, maybe I do this, maybe I do that. And it's like the obvious what things. And Cujo's just like, well, what if you just have your hands tied up with some AV cables? And I'm just like, mind blown, dude, mind blown. Such a quality thumbnail. Thank you, Legos Jedi. Cujo with the 200 IQ. For real! Just came out of nowhere and was like, here's your thumbnail on idea. And I was just like, and the worst part is, like 6 months ago, I would have been like, what the hell are you talking about? That's fucking stupid. No, I'm not doing that. It's so good. It's so good. And that's what everything is about these days. And it's so frustrating. Like, admittedly, like I'm teaching, or, you know, I'm trying to explain this with enthusiasm because I'm teaching it because it's exciting that I'm learning and potentially finally figuring out something that so many channels have known for a long time because I get stuck in super old school mode. But it is, you know, it's not an ideal scenario, in my opinion. Because everything has to, like we have to, I don't know. You gotta fight so much now to get your video shown. You're a real reason why I started caring about audio video stuff I used to stream many years ago, and if I never return, I have been gathering so much from your videos, not only to be successful, but to be happy with that result. That is amazing. That is awesome. And see, that actually, oh my God, okay, so that right there, that chat message, that is how Okay. That's basically how you, like, get yourself in the mindset, because that kind of comment that Swim Team just left is exactly like why you want to try more to get people to care about your topics. Because if, I'm trying to think, I wrote some down so I could, like, do, mainly so I can actually use the titles themselves, but I might be able to reference them for an example. So, okay. So, okay, so for example, specifically, since the Swim Team brought up audio quality, I could make a video that is like, here's why your viewers aren't sticking around on Twitch. And like the title is just like showing a view count graph like dropping off or something like that. Or, you know, stop scaring. Actually, one of my most successful audio related videos was something along the lines of like, audio quality isn't hard, stop scaring. I think the thumbnail said, stop scaring away viewers. But like, when you focus on that kind of like stakes or like, here's why you care aspect, because it's not, if I make a video title that's like, here's how to get the best stream audio quality, or here's how to sound like a pro on stream, or top 5 audio tips, like that'll do okay, especially within my audience, like it'll do all right. But if I make it to where it's like, your audio is ruining your viewership, but see, Gavatak, you're falling into the pitfall. You're still trying to convince the viewer to care about audio. If the viewer's like, I already know audio, I got my blue snowball, I'm good, they're still not gonna click it. The thing is to not tell them the video's about audio at all. The structure of the video would be like, hey, here's the relatable, super quick hook of like, you're losing viewers, they're not sticking around, they keep showing up and then disappearing. You know, you set up those stakes. Yes, Kitchen Nightmares. The Kitchen Nightmares meta is over. You set up that stakes, and then you cover a couple basics. Like, I'm basically planning out a video I'm gonna make, like, in real time here. So you set up the stakes, the drama, the thing that they care about, and then you establish, this is why your viewers disappear. Boom. Boom. 200 IQ. You set up those stakes, and then you introduce a few tips that they need to know or might already know regarding, like, viewer retention, your stream, and then maybe you start with audio balance, and then you're like, but you keep teasing like a secret, and then you drop the big one, which is when you really start talking about audio quality and like compressors and limiters and EQ and getting rid of fan noise and those things. Because when you try to just make someone care about audio quality up first, they either think they already know enough, which they might, but often they don't, or they're like, oh look, another video about audio quality. I'm not gonna watch that. Hot damn, I don't know why the audio is did the audio not work for you all? That was weird. My browser source derped up. I don't know what that sound was. Monitor only mute output. Okay, we'll try that. There we go. Thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. Slashy has been a sub. I feel like Slashy just subscribed to my Twitch like a couple weeks ago. It's been 5 months of Slashy demanding that I change my sub badges, my emotes, all of it. 5 months of Slashy being, no. Slashy is a very valued member of this community. I'm just very surprised that it's been 5 months. Andrew's OBS audio fit. And see, that's the thing though, is I have made videos like that too, but it's these dumb, like, here's how to get good audio quality that no one cared about, honestly. No one cared about. And in fact, y'all came up with some good alternative titles. I am actually gonna write these down really quick. This is why your viewers disappear. Aren't sticking around. Also, Patrick, if you're still around, that's a meme on some of the TikTok stream notifications. Okay, so for example, actually we can work on we can literally workshop this in real time. I do not have a desktop capture scene set up, so I'm gonna do that like absurdly quickly. New scene, desktop, add. Display capture. Okay. We're gonna scale it appropriately. My wife keeps texting me, even though I'm live. And they know that. Hang on, we got this. Setting up. Display capture on the fly, ladies and gentlemen. This is how we do things in the old EposVox live stream. Actually, my wife only texted me once, to be fair to them. Alright. I'm not even going to do face cam for this, just so we can not spend forever editing my stream as we usually do. Actually, screw it. Yes, I am. Add scene. Cameras. Okay. Croppity crop crop. Croppity crop crop. Crop. Nope. Croppity crop crop. Resize. Position it over here. Okay. Have the scene. Got it added to my stream deck. It thinks that's the active scene. It's not. It's confused. We are on chat. There we go. Okay. I've got a new macro pad basically dedicated to switching fancy zones and virtual desktops in Windows 11. It is wild. All right, anyway, I want to show you one of my probably best well, not my best, but like one of my better performing audio quality videos from a couple years ago. It doesn't get a ton of views anymore, and I get people asking about it all the time, and then I'm like, yo, I already made this. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch scenes now. Boom. My camera's in the wrong spot. Let's move it down here. So, this is a video about audio ducking. Came up with a hilarious thumbnail. Let's look at lifetime views really quick here. I've got 2K views in the last 28 days. That's actually not bad. Let's do lifetime. That video's done just under 100,000 views for my channel. It was uploaded in, what, 2018? Jesus Christ Gaming, what a name. Tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm hiding behind my mic here. Thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. It is greatly appreciated. So this video was released in 2018. May of 2018. We had just moved into our apartment, like, literally just moved into the apartment. Here, we'll pull it up here. I look ridiculous. My apartment is, like, barely put together. There's nothing on the walls. The audio honestly sounds really bad. Sound in your live stream across your voice and having to figure out which one's gonna override the other, and that sounds terrible. I don't know what happened. I had just thrown my setup together and my RE20 sounded like ass. I later found out a year or so later that my RE20 was broken. Not the point. Sounds terrible. But it is a tutorial on enabling audio ducking. And audio ducking is the ability to make your game sound, your music, whatever, automatically lower itself whenever you start talking into your microphone. A crucial, like, super important feature to have in OBS live streaming. Like, huge! It is amazing. And obviously the video's done decently well, but it hasn't done that amazing. And I get people asking all the time how to do it. And it's because they're not looking, I mean, admittedly, keep your stream sound balanced. Like, that might be what they're looking for, but like, if it's gonna get recommended to them, they're gonna see OBS Studio sidechain and ducking guide and be like, what in the Sam Hill is that? Because it's like, if they don't know that they need it, they don't know that they need it. And so instead, like, I could retitle this video, but I think since it gets decent traffic as is, I should leave it alone and instead just remake the video. Make it with better audio quality, better presentation, and pacing, and storytelling. But I should remake it and attack it from the perspective we just established. What's up, KP Sinti? Are recording an updated version for this video? Yes, not like in this moment, but yes, that is the plan. And in fact, I haven't formally made that a plan. It's just in my head as a plan, so we're gonna re-record audio ducking guide, and we will add our title as we go. So the idea here, and maybe y'all can workshop it with me here, the idea is that, and we can switch back to chat view, I guess. The idea is not keep your audio balanced. Like, okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. My brain automatically goes into old school mode, and so my thinking process is, okay, you're you know, focus on the music automatically lowering with your game sound, and so trying to figure out that wording, but it's got to be simpler than that. It's got to be down to like, what's up, Ricardo Escobar? It's got to be down to like, stop fighting your background music. Or stop fighting your game sound. Stream can't hear your game. Stream can't hear you. Some of those kinds of ideas. That is the angle I need to attack it from this time. Stop talking with your music. That's close. Like, it's the right idea, but it's specifically that is a little confusing. But like, I'm going at it from that angle where I... my old school way of when I do these tutorials is I'm like, okay, here's a technique. I'm going to tell you how to do the technique. And if you don't know what the technique is, which is kind of what, if you've seen Veritasium's video on clickbait, is all about. If I just tell you, here's how to do this technique, I give you no reason to care about the technique. Keep your background sound in the background. Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Perfect OBS volume automatically. Holy Nikes. All right. I don't know that that's exactly what we should go with, but it's definitely a good one. Perfect OBS volume automatically. Like, because you don't want, because it's not specifically just for music. It's not specifically just for game sound. You want the technique, not the technique. You want the core problem they're trying to solve, which is struggling to get volume right in OBS. Struggling to, like, you know, that kind of thing, which is perfect OBS volume automatically is probably very close. Never touch OBS volume again. Actually, that's not bad. But you see what I'm getting at, where it's like, you want to get as non-specific with the problem as possible to appeal to the problem. So actually, I am currently reading this book right here. Ow, ow, I hit my funny bone. That hurt. Currently reading this book right here. Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz. It's actually by... yeah, okay. It's published by Brian Kurtz and Titan Marketing. This is effectively like the textbook on marketing. It was written in like the 60s, and it's just been ever so slightly updated with the intro and outro since then. But it's the same process, or like concepts and stuff everyone has used since the 60s, and this book is full of genius. I'm barely into it and already learning so much. Like, I'm taking pages and pages of notes. But the big thing it focuses on is that your headline, which in this case would be the title and thumbnail, because, you know, it's talking about like newspaper ads and stuff in the 60s. Your headline for your ad, and keep in mind, your YouTube title and thumbnail is an advertisement. It is not a title of an essay. It's not a title of a book. It is an ad slot, basically like an AdSense ad that goes in there. Perfect stream audio every time. That might be the simple one. I might A/B test between automatically and every time. Like, that might be the A/B test. What's the book? It's called Breakthrough Advertising. It's like 125 bucks. It's ridiculous, but apparently before they started republishing it like a decade ago, it was going for like $1,000 used, so I'm glad they republished it. But like, the core focus here is that you have to find the biggest and like strongest emotion problem idea that appeals to the biggest number of people that like are approaching your video. So hang on, let me get the exact phrasing that makes sense. I literally, like I said, I have a crap ton of notes on this book. Okay. So you cannot, so the core tenets so far, again, I'm like a quarter of the way through, but it's already been gold. The core tenets are that you cannot create mass desire or want for your product, or in this case, your video, or even the thing you're teaching about or reviewing or playing with, whatever. You can't you cannot create desire for that. That desire has to already exist. And so instead you need to appeal to the right desire to get the most people, in this case, watching your video. And so you need to appeal to the forces that already cause mass desire. So for example, mass instinct, like the desire to be healthy or attractive or strong. Those trends are always there. You just have to find new solutions to problems within that. Or forces of change, like style or fulfillment or education, those kinds of things. And so when you appeal to like things that already exist, you're appealing to a reason someone already has to care about your video. Whereas if you try to literally conjure and craft desire for something that someone doesn't care about, you're pretty much always going to lose. Or you're going to get like a handful of people, and then you're going to piss some people off that don't actually have it. So that is what I'm really trying to learn, because between studying it, seeing the people who are successful, all of that, that is genuinely what works at the moment. And like, it makes sense, because it's, again, all of this that is applying to YouTube literally goes back to the 60s in terms of like the most successful headlines in advertising. So know how to do. Exactly. So I want to clarify something when I'm talking about this, just to be careful, I guess. And that is that when I'm talking about this, this is talking broader strategy. If you have a completely brand new channel, you have to mix things up a little bit, in that 90% of existing, like, already established in some form or fashion, being like 500 or 500,000 subscribers. You know, as long as you have been making content and you're getting views and you're trying to optimize and get more of those views, pretty much everyone these days needs to target suggested and recommendations and homepage for views, because that is where the majority of views come from YouTube. However, if you're just starting out, you really gotta mix it up a little bit, because you're not inherently gonna get on that homepage. You have to also target search a little bit. So if you're literally, it's your 5th video you've ever made on your channel, and you think it's good, it's not a bad video, which it probably is if it's your 5th video ever. That's not the point. If it's your 5th video on your channel and you're trying to get views, then doing how to do X, how to do Y, you know, SEO, search engine optimization, targeted videos is important, because you need traffic of some sort. You're not going to magically get recommended on your own. But once you're getting views and you're trying to maximize that, search is now one of the weakest possible sources of traffic. Unfortunately, it's the biggest one for my channel, and it's why I'm trying to adapt and change, because this writing has been on the wall for years. But I did want to throw in that clarification. Like right now, how to do X on my YouTube channel, unless it's just some big solution that everyone, like right now, if I said how to capture 4K 120 FPS gameplay with a capture card, presumably that would mean that there's now a capture card available for that, and people would probably flock to it. But if it's how to keep your game audio beneath your mic audio and all that, you know, that kind of wording, waste of time, complete waste of time. Like, especially even on my channel, like with whatever gauge you give, like my established size, like it would almost not be worth the time I put into the video to make a video with that title, because the views would be so low. That sucks as an educator who just wants to make a bunch of how-to videos, but I still get to make those videos. I just gotta frame them right. I don't know that it's a sad state of things. Like I said, these are literally rules that go back to the 60s in terms of like the best possible advertising things. It's just a matter of the competition is so much higher than it was ever before. And even when I, like, part of it for me, I think some of the younger generations that come up on TikTok and, you know, with these already being established rules and things like that, have it a little easier, because they can just look at it and be like, okay, I'll just do that and be fine with it. They don't have any hangups or baggage or history with it. But for someone like me, who started when YouTube started, you know, not on this channel, not doing this thing, but, you know, I started working with YouTube and observing it and learning about it back in 2006. seeing the first generation of full-time creators who were able to do it for a living come up, where most of their videos were just like Team Deathmatch 46-2 gameplay commentary, or I'm feeling sad today, or going to the store. You know, the most basic, completely uninformative titles that even looking back at those videos don't make sense for titles for the videos because they don't tell you what they're actually talking about. They just got views because they were uploading. And like the nuance, or the novelty rather, was that people were interested in watching them because they were posting videos, because that was such a new and unique thing. Whereas that isn't the case anymore. Okay, so I only have one video, how to. Should I leave it like that and not change it to blow your viewers' minds with amazing webcam? Yeah, if it's literally your only video, just leave it as how to. Make it as clear as possible what it is, so any new person coming across it is clear and is getting some search traffic, so it's getting you traffic in general, because otherwise you're just gonna throw away whatever traffic you're already getting, probably. You're trying to straddle the line between making compelling videos for people when you see your thumbnail, title, end screen, and creating a strong database that... Yeah, exactly. So that's why I've been trying to work on the streamguides.gg website. I have completely not been able to keep up with that as usual. Hopefully I will be able to like bring on people to help with that. But that is my goal, is to still have like a searchable education database there. But because between the title and thumbnail changes for YouTube and the de-emphasis on backlog content, and like YouTube keeps experimenting with the idea of if you search on a channel page, it will start searching all of YouTube, which makes no sense, but they keep saying it's a bug, but it keeps happening, so I don't know. But like YouTube keeps de-emphasizing more and more of your backlog and like removing playlist features and all this stuff. It's becoming harder and harder for YouTuber to really be an organized home for educational content. So eventually I really got to lock down on getting people on to like move that to a website so that at least you can find it there when you're really trying to learn. How would you recommend? Googling stuff is not harder today than it used to be. People just stopped learning how to Google. They stopped being taught by librarians how to actually use Google beyond typing a question into Google, which was never the right way to go in the first place. They stopped teaching these kinds of things in school because they started assuming everyone was just like born with this knowledge because it wasn't new anymore. It's awful. It's really bad. There's much more trash online. Yes, and part of learning how to Google is learning how to sort through that trash and evaluate sources. And again, that's not taught, but that is a crucial part of learning how to Google or research or synthesize information, and it's not taught anymore. How would you recommend video titles for those who make entertaining content? For example, the upcoming Elden Ring gameplay or some funny cut of Alive. That is where you have complete free reign to go like complete ham with ridiculous titles, because you're not really tied to any like I have to focus it around the idea I'm teaching, whereas you can just make a video about anything. And I think that's the struggle that a lot of channels are kind of coming to grips with, is like, you don't, a successful video is as much about the premise of the video as it is the title and thumbnail you use to market it with. So like, if it's, here's funny clips from my stream where I have 10 viewers and 50 followers, there's no real way to make that compelling. Because frankly, nobody other than your 50 followers and 10 viewers or whatever give a crap, and they're not going to give a crap. It doesn't matter if you have a hilarious clip in there. Highlights video X of streamer Y is not a compelling video offering. However, if you have a super awesome specific clip in there, and it's some ridiculous thing that happened in the game, then you show that ridiculous thing in the thumbnail and you come up with some bizarre ass title for it, and you're gonna succeed. So you gotta think about that as well. But frankly, like if you're making entertaining content, just come up with wacky ideas and things like that. Like, do you think you should have the title transition? I'm not sure quite what that means. Don't use Wikipedia as a reference, use Wikipedia as references. Old school advice. Now everyone thinks Wikipedia is bad because intellectualism's bad and encyclopedias are bad and information is bad. So now we just trust information from random 14-year-olds on TikTok who don't know anything and say because they have a bunch of followers, they know better than people who have actual authority on it. Researching is not any more difficult than it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago. It's only more difficult because people never actually learn the skills to do the research and search through it. Like, it makes me so mad. And we've developed this whole anti-intellectualism phase where like actual authoritative sources don't matter anymore. And if you try to present yourself as an expert because you are an expert, suddenly you're bad. And it's just, Title transition as in how to clickbait-esque. Oh, at what size do you think you should have the title transition? I don't think there's a set size. I mean, it really just, like, I could pull an arbitrary number of, like, when you're getting 1,000 views a month or something. I think it's more like you should at least be, when you're starting out, alternating, so, like, every other? I don't know. Yeah, because everything has become political, and if you talk about political stuff, it's bad, because you can't talk about anything, because it's all political. When I search for stuff on YouTube now, it only serves me a certain amount of entries, then shows me stuff I'm interested in. Yes, I hate that. That is part of what I'm talking about with the backlog. Like, YouTube is so focused on either, and it sounds like a paradox, but YouTube's so focused on either the most like popping content, even if it's old, or the newest content. So if you search for something and it suddenly interrupts your search results and is like, maybe you want to watch this instead, it's because it's realizing that after the first wave of scrolling results, it's not finding what you want, and it's like, forget about what you were searching for, come get a dopamine hit by watching one of these, like, from our top tier recommendations for you instead. And I get it from an algorithmic point of view, because algorithms are not people and algorithms can't make the judgment calls that people can. But from a like functional and like human element point of view, it's absolutely horrific. It's something Google would never do with Google. But Google isn't a platform where they want to keep you on Google for as long as possible, because that's actually counterproductive to Google's functionality. Whereas YouTube's functionality is not actually a search engine, it's a video site. And if you're not watching videos and playing ads, you're counterproductive to their goals. So it's, the more YouTube gets embedded in becoming a, you know, an ad-supported video site, which is what they are, the further away from a tool for anything else it really becomes. And frankly, it's always been that way. Like, some of the people early on knew to like run their own website and mailing lists and all of these things and just use YouTube as a video host. And that is the way to go. And that's why I'm trying to build up the website, but it is a lot of extra work. And it's been hard finding people to like balance that out. Social media has had the harmful effect of reinforcing confirmation bias of groups that rely on incorrect information. Yep. And there's no, I don't know how you fix that without undoing all of social media do. Actually, that's not true. I do. The way to fix that is to stop making social media sites trying to be everyone's homepage. They're not AOL. It's not your full internet. Facebook used to be a personal, basically Facebook address book where you connected with friends, shared status updates, and that was it. Not a forum, a news site, a video platform. When sites moved more and more to trying to do everything as, you know, as many functions and as many features as possible to keep you on the website longer, they lost the magic that made them fun in the first place with, you know, what they were great at to begin with, but they also really started causing more problems, because and this is part of what I'm talking about with like kids not being taught the proper way to use the internet and computers these days, because when you use a singular tool for the purpose of that tool, you're able to disconnect yourself from all of the other bad things on that place, because that's not where the website is for. We think about it when we think about like the boomer grandparents that hear conspiracy theories on Facebook and things like that. And I'm saying kids these days aren't taught this, but like boomers are still like, they're still around when they came before technology was really being taught at all. Like, so keep that in mind. But like, you hear that trope, and that comes from the fact that they now rely, or so many people rely on Facebook to be basically their entire internet. When in reality, Facebook is just a place to connect with your friends, not to get reliable news sources, not to find out about vaccines or medicine or anything like that. It is a site to connect with friends and talk about your life and send messages. And when you can be like, okay, this is the point of the tool, and someone's like, I heard this crazy thing about how the sky's falling on Facebook. You can be like, well, Facebook isn't really the place to find that out. I'm going to go evaluate it on a news source or a scientific source with authority, and you learn how to evaluate those sources and determine that. Then you use that website and you go figure it out. And yes, there's some nuance when it comes to like biases, which are overblown, and like fact checking and all of that, but there's the more you diversify the tools that you use for different purposes, the more you learn about it. And it's the same thing, like to demonstrate this on like a more basic level. We have moved where everyone got excited that your cell phone, your smartphone, could be every possible tool for you. It can be a phone. It can be your internet browser. It can be a game machine. It can be a camera. And when you rely on this one thing to do all of those things, you get a convenience factor, especially if you're not someone who is skilled with all of those things. You get a convenience factor. And for a lot of people, it's more than good enough. It's all you need to do. But if you actually want to go learn photography and pick up a camera and go do photography, you probably don't understand many of the aspects of photography in terms of not only just like the technical, like ISO and aperture and that relationship, but that is super crucial important, but also like the mechanics of juggling camera gear and choosing the right camera gear and blah, 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 and all of that, because it's all done for you. And even when you go into manual settings, it is still doing computational AI-based changing to your image that you have no control over. And you lose the fundamentals when you go for the convenience. And then you lose appreciation for it, because then you have people being like, well, how do I get a filter for a fisheye effect? Or how do I blur my background? It's like, that comes from apertures and lens widths and all of these things. And it's just, and again, this is a simplified example that doesn't matter if you're not hardcore into photography, and for someone just posting to their Instagram or whatever, it's not a huge deal. But you have people who then want to go be cinematographers when all they know how to do is put on filters on an iPhone. And that becomes a big problem. Okay, that was a big ramble. Let me scroll through. Would you prefer to listen to a stream with audio ducking or basic audio balancing for long periods of time? It depends on what the audio is. Like for music, I kind of just prefer keeping it low. It also depends on the context of the stream. Like if it's someone who doesn't talk a lot, then ducking makes more sense because you're kind of vibing with the music. But if it's like game sound, I kind of prefer it to have ducking because you want to be able to hear the game, and they're probably not talking throughout the entire game. Like there's a lot of context to it. The more diversification of a platform, the less control a platform has. Example, Facebook. Yes. When you use Facebook as a social media site, not an email site, you use an email site for email, you use news sites for news, you're immediately thinking more critically and better off than most of the population right now. Can you please explain HDMI 2.1a? Well, you see, when an HDMI standardization licensing firm, whatever the fuck the HDMI company is, decides they really, really, really want more money from companies making products, they sometimes throw a little extra letter at the end of their spec and say, hey, all of you using the previous spec can now say you're using the current spec if you pay us more money, and those of you using the new spec have to slap the letter on it. Like, Remember when there were thousands of blogs and websites about different topics? Yeah, and then they all became Facebook pages or groups. I mean, there are still some. It's still a thing. People just use them way less. Okay, here's another example. If you're having trouble with your with a specific product you bought, let me stick it there. If you're having trouble with the specific product you bought, how do you get help with that? Your choices are A, your cousin or grandchild that's great with computers. B, a YouTube comment section of a review from 5 years ago. C, spamming every possible platform to contact the creator of that video from 5 years ago. Or D, the support services, either on a website, phone, forum, in-store, for that company, the store you bought it from, or the manufacturer that made the product. If you answered anything but D as the starting point, unless you're just really good with that family member and you just happen to ask them real quick, if you answered 2 or 3, you don't know what the hell you're doing. First of all, maybe start with Google to get a basic result, but if you need hands-on support, you contact tech support. There's a function for that. The internet itself is not tech support. Okay. I think we've spent a good amount of time on the stream being, deconstructing society here. Some support services aren't too good and usually just end in paying an unnecessary fee. Yes and no. I mean, I can't just go to you if I have problems. I mean, it gets real annoying. But yes, we've despaired about society long enough. I'd like to show you some of the stuff I've been doing with GlitchArt lately, which is kind of amusing of a segue since it's kind of like my own rebellion against modern society, I guess. Let me pull this up real quick. I don't even have this channel like linked on my homepage because it's not a channel I usually use. Hold on. So the point of the stream was I need to move some stuff around in the studio and optimize my GlitchArt setup, and I was going to show you all some of that stuff as well. That was kind of what we were going to do today. We could also like work on some more thumbnail and title concepts as we go as well. I made this last night before my kid woke up again. Let's do this scene. Yep. Pro streamer strats. This will be funny when you watch Tuesday's video. I should have had this clipped ready to go into it. Anyway, so this is GlitchArt. One form of it. There's millions of different forms. It's a form of art involving obviously glitches, but I specifically focus on kind of the analog tech aspect of it. And so it involves, you know, using a bunch of gear, which we'll show some of it here, to like distort and blend and mix and really screw with video signals, specifically analog video signals, to, you know, create cool results and kind of deconstruct what you see. And I specifically, I will pull up here. So I have a Patreon for my art specifically. If you're interested in supporting, I will link it in the chat here. But if we check out here, you'll get kind of a preview of what I released to them. I have 2 different tiers. One's specifically to just get the releases and wallpapers. I do like big 4K wallpapers of things, and I do some mobile wallpapers. But I will also be releasing asset packs. So for example, I've been working on a CRT scan kind of stream overlay look. We'll have like a crap ton of assets for that, stinger transitions, things like that. I'm working on a Stream Deck and Touch Portal icon pack. It actually looks pretty sick on my Stream Deck now. I like really talked my voice out with that rant. But I have a couple tiers. One is for the assets, one's just for the wallpapers. But I got some pretty sick shots from that brain animation here that I'm absolutely loving. And it's actually, I'm using one of them as my wallpaper now. So these are just the normal 4x3 shots, but I did turn them into some 4K wallpapers. Where is the one I used? Hello? Oh yeah, this is my current wallpaper. What was I gonna say? Oh, I also have a website that's supposed to be a portfolio for it. I have not updated it since December. I need to add some stuff to it. But I have been absolutely loving it. I wish it was feasible to make a dynamic data mosh stinger transition. So there kind of is a way, not data mosh specifically, but to get some distortion stuff going that I'm gonna be working on soon and showing off. But specifically one of the things I wanted to do today was actually to make, I don't know why you can't see this. My DaVinci Resolve icon on my taskbar is red, even though the program's closed. Windows 11 is buggy still. But I specifically wanted to make my own, like, I want to get, like, a texture overlay going here. Why do I keep clicking on VLC? That I can show you all. Wallpaper engine, GlitchArt wallpapers. If patrons request it, I am willing to make, wallpaper engine versions. I don't currently, but it's something I am open to. So I want to make a texture overlay, and this is kind of cheating, but it's purely for certain photos. But I have, if I can't show you this. Hang on, let me switch back to chat real quick. Oh, Explorer isn't coming into focus. Why, Windows? I just reinstalled Windows 11, and it's just like, not happy. I don't know how Explorer automatically starts breaking within a fresh install. That's not the point. So you may have seen this before. I'm trying to figure out subpixel overlay. Yeah, okay. So okay. You may have seen this in some of my videos. When I do screen captures of screens that are not in dark mode and have white, I have this big subpixel overlay, which is just RGB subpixels, like from a CRT, to represent the phosphors, that I overlay on top of it with like a little bit of chromatic aberration on the edges, and it makes it look like I captured the video off of an actual screen, and it helps kind of blend out the harsh white. Because typically, in like films and movies and stuff, you never want something to be pure white in the first place. And so I've been using this, but like it doesn't scale right. If you do it at 1080p, you can see you get these kind of like macro grid effects, which don't look super natural. And specifically for some of these GlitchArt images, let me pull up here from the stills. Actually, I'll do these. So like some of these, I get some really good texture. Now, admittedly, I'm gonna get more texture when I start doing actual CRT scans and photograph the CRT. At the moment, I'm just doing analog capture. And again, we'll show some of this in a little bit. But like, you can see, especially if I zoom in here, I get some lovely texture on like the interlacing lines and the scan lines. But for some of them where I keep it super dark or I otherwise don't get this texture, like one of these or something, I want the creative control to still be able to add a little bit of that texture back. And so what I want to do is I want to create a grid that I can overlay kind of at a 1-to-1 pixel ratio. And I know how I want to do it. I just have to figure out the correct Photoshop methods. By the way, I've been trying to learn Affinity Photo and Publisher again recently, but I just keep running into so many like really dumb quirks about it that just end up turning me off. So what I want to do for this to get the look that I'm going to try to show you is I want to make a pattern. And admittedly, it's been a very long time since I've made a pattern in Photoshop. But if I'm thinking right, I should be able to make a grid pattern that I can just overlay on top of it at the right ratio. So I did a 10 by 10 square here. I'm hoping that will scale right. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna assume I know how to do this at first. I'm gonna make the square for a grid. So basically I want a grid to overlay. I'm gonna turn off stroke. And then I want those RGB phosphors in it, just a single set of them. What did we do all that ranting for? What? I'm gonna make a square. It's gonna be 10 by 10 pixels. Actually, I wanted the stroke and not the fill. That's my bad, but I can fix that. So I go back over here. So I want the grid. Ooh. I don't know if that's gonna actually show up because of the size. I might have to shrink it down. Oh, took a circle back to how to Google searches. Well, Yeah, but I am Googling. I am researching it. I'm literally checking it on Adobe's website. I'm not being like, oh, YouTuber 5,000, blah, blah, blah. Although, I mean, okay, that's actually from Adobe anyway, but you know, whatever. All right, so I might have to make this bigger because this is not gonna show. So we'll do 100 by 100. All right, reset my settings. That's fine. Okay. So I want to overlay a grid, as I've said like a dozen times now. And then I want the phosphors in it. So first I need the grid. Just like a thin grid. I want it to have a black outer glow. That does not feel even. Am I crazy? It really feels like this side is thicker than this side. Am I losing it? You're making a new subpixel pattern. I'm gonna... Yeah, that's specifically why I'm making a new one. This is not even. Do you see that? The top and left are thicker than... What? Why is that? Oh. That's why. It's still not even. Now we can turn it down. Oh, the stroke is generating on the line instead of inside. How do I change that? There's got to be an option for it, right? The stroke needs to generate inside the square, not on the square. You know what? This is too much work. We are just going to fill it, after all. And we'll delete. Because figuring that out is dumb. So now we make a duplicate layer, transform it, make it smaller. Center it. Rasterize both of these. Select pixels. That's not even. Ah! Alright. We will do it this way. Perfect. Don't know why that was so difficult. Alright, we got a thin grid. It's still not entirely even. Billy J. Bryant with the sub. Thank you so much. There we go. Bam. You can do the stroke and the blending options. Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. But since I was using the rectangle tool, I was trying to do it like the native way. Alright. Then we do a dark outer glow on the inside. Because we wanted to add a little bit of shadow. And we're gonna have to play with this pattern. But to start, we wanted to cast a little bit of shadow in the grid. That should be fine. And then we want the RGB pixels. So I come back over here to my overlays. Do we want the dots? That might be, no, that's harder to pull off. We just want the side by side. That one's sharper. We want this one. Expand, shrink. Ah, that was probably the right way to go. This is fine. All right. And basically, I just want a single one of these to fill the square. And I will stretch if I need, because it doesn't, like the aspect ratio doesn't really matter here. And actually, we're gonna make it smaller, and I'm just gonna crop one out to start. So, zoom back in here. We want basically that. And then we want to take off a little bit off this side where that blue came in. Okay, this is much easier to work with. And we basically just fill inside that rectangle. Put it below it. That should be our pattern. Okay? So we'll group and smart object, and we'll go on and save this somewhere. I'll just save it to my overlays for now. RGB pattern. Edit. Actually, Control A, edit. Define pattern. CRT RGB phosphor. Are you concerned at all that the image was at a slight angle? Honestly, no. I mean, we can fix it real quick here. I don't think that's any better, honestly, but it's fine. Edit. Define pattern. That's all I need, right? Yeah. Okay. Now what I should be able to do is if I pull one of these into Photoshop, let's say that one, I can make a new layer. I can fill with a pattern. Choose my RGB pattern, and theoretically it'll scale correctly, because that's what I'm trying to get, is for it to scale correctly without me fiddling with transform forever. That's a little big. Okay. So, can we edit the pattern? Like, can we edit patterns? Is that not a thing? It's not. Alright, I guess we could shrink it down now. Now that we got it sized up right, so we can go to image size. Like, what would happen? I do want to come in here real quick. I want to make that outer glow shadow a little darker. Alright. Now, image size. So what happens if we knock it back down to like 10? We can't do 1. Because 1 pixel would literally just be a dot. Yeah, see, that did not scale right. Let's play with resample. Preserve details. Bicubic sharper. Bicubic gradients. Let's do bicubic sharper. Nope, that's probably what it was doing before. I don't know that we're going to be able to do this, actually. I was really hoping we would. Hard edges. Let's just try nearest neighbor. Yeah, we lose the black, because the black can only be 1 pixel. There's not... I need like an odd number of pixels. Because like... if we set this to overlay... yeah, it's way too big. Yeah, I think the only option is actually to make it really big and shrink it down. I was really trying to avoid that. So let's make an 8K frame here. Let's fill the pattern. Okay, now let's try. So we'll call this RGB overlay 2022. Because if we just make it super high res and scale it down, like that still works. I was trying to avoid that. I wanted it to be like a native effect. That's still gonna be too big. Well, maybe not. We do something like that. Play with the blending mode so we can like... Ooh, soft light looked okay. Saturation's neat. Okay, let's just go back to overlay. And just really finely tune opacity. I still think it's too big. It's way too big. Yeah, so we gotta... We'll delete this. We gotta make it bigger than 8K. We gotta make it like super big. So we'll just do like 12K by... No, 12K isn't even big enough. 20K? By 20K. If you add a layer, fill it, then use blending options to set the pattern and adjust and scale there. I'm not... There's a pattern fill with scale option somewhere in Photoshop? I have no idea about that. I know I can add the blending mode immediately there. If you add a layer, then fill it, then use the blending options to set the pattern and adjust the scale there. I don't know what you mean by adjust the scale there. Oh, you mean like... Hold up, am I being dumb? Let's go ahead and add it as overlay. Fill. Can I just... Yeah, if I resize, it's only the canvas size. New fill layer pattern. Oh! I feel like an idiot. Although I don't... New fill layer. Pattern. Yo! Okay. Wait, this is not the same menu. There's no scale. We'll say overlay. Oh, there's the scale. Sick. Okay. Oh, this is perfect! I wish I could make this... I wish I could change the, like, scale factor, but I guess that would just be the size of my pattern. This is perfect! Look at that! Immediately we get that texture! Holy shit, thank you! Mind melt! If we play with the scale here... That's 1%, that's basically off. Like, it's basically... We're losing the color. Like, I don't think it's ever gonna look perfect like I want it to. Nick gifting 5 tier 1 subs! The mad lad! What the hell? Thank you so much. We're getting a lot of greencast from it, but honestly, it's fine. I think we can add multiple patterns? That's wild. We can adjust the angle? Ooh. Most of these have film grain. I'm trying to work on, by the way, I want a unique, like... I want a tool. Thank you for all the subs, Nick. You're amazing. 58 subs gifted in this channel so far. He's now top of the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen. So, alright, so we have our pattern on top, before, after... Well, you can't see it. I'm gonna wait. But basically, I'm looking for a tool, be it a plugin for After Effects, Resolve, Premiere, ideally After Effects or Resolve, or even Photoshop. Although I'd like it animated, or, you know, motion. That has, like, some unique algorithms for generating noise. Because most of the, like, generate noise filters are either using some pre-baked film presets or just, like, Gaussian RGB noise or monochrome noise. And I've seen a lot of pieces with, like, really distinct looking noise, and I would love some tool that has some weird algorithms to generate noise. And I don't know what that looks like. But if anyone happens to know what the hell I'm talking about and knows of a similar tool, because I know they exist, let me know. Alright, so we got our pattern at the right size we want. This is amazing. I'm gonna have to remember this. But now we can play with opacity here. And, like, really get that texture in there that I wanted. Again, this is not gonna be as cool as shooting it on the actual CRT. But, ooh boy. And actually, we can go a step further. Before we adjust opacity, we can lens blur it. That's probably fine. We're not scaling it anymore, so that's fine. We can't blur it much, and maybe lens blur is not the right blur, because this is obviously just nothing. See, you can see here, it's very green. The green really takes over. So I can play with color balance first, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. Cancel. Let's do color balance. Can I clip mask the pattern fill? Is that actually gonna work? I guess so. Come over here to color balance. Let's take away some of the green here and boost some of the blue. Maybe that'll balance it out. We could apply that back to the original pattern and remake it, but for now that's fine. Maybe a blur isn't what I want. Like, I just want it to be a little bit softer. Because we made it super high res now, so it's a little crisp. I guess grain might actually resolve that. We're gonna convert those. What kind of blurs we got? Radial blur? Ooh, actually, I'm not seeing any effect here. Okay, no, that looks terrible. Why can I not get a preview of that? Oh, blur gallery? Why is that a separate thing? I don't understand Photoshop sometimes. I don't think we're gonna be able to blur it without just turning it into like a solid green line, so that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I agree that noise will probably be helpful here. Oh. Setting that to overlay no longer turns it into overlay. That's a pretty cool gradient though, right there. I don't think it's scaling right on your all screen, but that's fine. All right, so we have to undo pretty much everything here. This is not working at all. Oh, I hid the background layer. Never mind. I'm an idiot. There we go. So I think we just turn it down a tiny bit. And like I said, most of these already have green added in Lightroom, but we can, just for proof of concept here, add a little bit more. Photoshop's built-in noise things are not great, though. Oh, I have to flatten it, really? Alright, we're gonna duplicate, group, convert. Will it let me do it as a smart object? Yes, okay. Then we can add from there. But see, the options are limited, and like, this isn't super unique noise, and it doesn't show up like on phones and stuff anyway. The Gaussian's a little better. I don't know what I would want it to look like. Like, I don't know what unique, like, noise means, but I know I've seen stuff. And in fact, what if we look, I have a subscription to Envato Elements. They have a bunch of Photoshop, like, actions and plugins. I wonder if they have anything. Let's do noise. Oh look, that's up my alley. Spray noise, TV noise. None of these are probably what I want, Risograph grain. Actually, grain is something I could be looking for too. Does Photoshop has a film grain? No. But again, most of the free film grain plugins and stuff just use, like, pre-baked overlays. I'm really not a... I love the noise on this, though. Like, ignore the interlace lines and the chromatic aberration. I do love that stuff, but, like, we've got some of that speckles and grain going. Problem is, these are all just default Photoshop files that will literally make every image look like this. I kind of like that. Because again, keep in mind, I am going a little bit for analog looks on these pieces, so I don't want it to be super digital. Could that be crystallization? So for this piece specifically, I wanted the blacks to be pure black because it looks like an X-ray. For others, I am going to develop a Lightroom preset where I have a specific color shadow and stuff. I haven't got there yet. Most of the ones I posted from that set do not have a hard black background. Yeah, most of the stuff on Envato just is like... These are just Photoshop files. I want plugins. I just want plugins. I wish my Red Giant plugins worked on Photoshop. What I could do, however... So we could save this with the RGB overlay already here. So we'll just save this here. RGB overlay test. We could pop it into Resolve or After Effects for the filter. Like, we could do that. So this is Red Giant Universe Unigrain. Well, just grain. Red Giant grain. And see, they just have, like, most of these plugins just use a basic, like, overlay that's basically just a video file. Why are these so colored? I don't want blue. Ugh. Oh, I can't zoom in that way. Duh. I mean, I can basically do the same thing here, but it's got a saturation thing, so that's fine. Yeah, the universe one isn't doing, like, this is fine if you're just adding film grain, but, like, I'm trying to get a look that I'm not happy with what I have here. Overlay isn't gonna work because it's black, I don't think. I mean, we can turn it up. Yeah, you can't even see it. Shadows, more grain. Right, let's look at the grain only real quick here. Grain size. Yeah, you can literally see, even with the built-in one in Resolve, and it's the same thing for After Effects, like, this is very clearly scaling a PNG file. or like an animated video. That's wild. Usually you don't see it as obvious there. And then that's just stretching it. That's hilarious. Yeah, overlay isn't going to work on the black. I can do a custom composite type? What? What does that mean? Okay, that actually looks kind of good if I scroll back out. You just got a little bit on the blacks, but it doesn't damage the lights too much. I kind of dig that, actually. Just looks like a little bit like analog noise. That's fine for now. I want to get messing with the actual hardware before it gets too late here. I will save this, however. Alright. Hope everybody's having a great weekend so far. Appreciate everyone who has stopped by the stream today. We still got some cool stuff we're gonna do. We'll come back to this project if we need to. I just kind of wanted to demo the idea I was aiming for, even if we didn't quite hit it. That's okay, we don't always meet our goals. Really hoping the kiddo and I do not have COVID. We haven't had any bad symptoms so far. My kid had a slight fever yesterday morning, but it was like 99.8. Like when he was a baby, that's not even considered a fever, so Does the StreamOS pack have something other than pink for accent colors? Yes, you can pick lots of stuff. Here, I might be able to show you. It has so much customization, it's insane. The real brownie with the Prime sub, thank you. My alerts are not in the right spot. There we go. Thank you so much. What am I looking for? Okay. Wyatt, I 100% meant to check that before I started streaming and had so much else to set up before the stream I completely forgot. I am very sorry. I will check it as soon as I'm done streaming, I promise. Alright, so here is the default look for StreamOS. It's just like Windows XP, or with the classic theme, basically. But you can go in here, you might not be able to with this setting. I have some old imports that maybe aren't set up right. Yeah, so some of these are baked in images, but some of them, if I find the right one, you've got like complete customization. AOL Addy Online. LOL. Okay, like with the alert box, for example. I think this is the one. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna emulate it here, although it's gonna show on stream, so I'm gonna mute my stream copy. So that's the theme I have now, basically. But there are a bunch of themes. Like there's Classic, Cyber, and Night by default. So if we emulate Classic. That did not work. Oh, I didn't save it. My bad. Hello? Why is it not saving? Well, okay. I have mine pretty messed up at the moment. This is why you shouldn't do it live. Never mind. You have... We'll just pull up the friggin' website. EposVox.gg/nerdordie. So this thing gives you so many options, especially like once you get into it. So it has 4 main themes. Oh, now it's gonna... Now it's showing my tests on stream. So it has 4 main themes, which is Classic, which is Windows XP-ish. You got a nighttime theme, which I knew a lot of people back in like middle school and elementary school had. You got like a cyberpunky theme, and then you got the vaporwave theme. But then you can customize pretty much all of the colors. You can replace the GIFs and images on all of the pop-ups and all of that. You can swap out the images if you want. Like I have some custom icons on some of my screens and things like that. You have the different webcam frames. You can swap out each individual icon. You can add your own retro desktop icons. You can swap out the wallpaper. You can add an animated wallpaper if you'd like. You can change all the text names for the windows. You could theoretically make your own window. All of that. Like you can change every aspect and you can change all the colors and panel colors and stuff. So you gotta work with it. It's one of their most complex layouts. Like this kind of shows it. Like there's a bunch of stuff here. This is the most complex layout they have released, but it's the most customizable and most powerful. And I wish more people kind of knew the tools available. It's just kind of hard to show it all off. And unfortunately, their Stream Elements integrations are not as good as, say, like the raw files or Streamlabs, which is unfortunate. I've been trying to poke them to get more on the Stream Elements boat. But like some of their images have examples that you don't have in the default themes because you can just make them. But it makes my pitch of doing custom stream overlays so much less compelling. So few people seem willing to pay. Well, that's because most streamers like aren't making money and aren't gonna do much to stand out in their career anyway. Like when you do find high-paying clients, they're good. Don't they also have a Stream Deck icon pack to go with this theme? I don't think so. Oh, they do! What? I don't think I knew they put this out. Dude, this is sick! Alright, I'm picking this up later. Oh my god, they even got the classic AMD CPU looking... Oh. Oh, this is amazing. And keep in mind, the Stream Deck icons are literally just PNGs. Like, you could slap these into the actual overlay to do whatever you want. Like, to build your own virtual operating system. This is incredible. I had no idea. I don't know if their music is safe. Lego Jedi with the tier 1 sub! Thank you so much. By the way, if you join our Discord and you're a Twitch sub, you get early access to videos, behind the scenes content, and stuff like that in a super secret chat. More reason to subscribe. Okay, you get the After Effects and Photoshop files for these, by the way. I use the Stream Deck icons in my touch bar. Yeah, it'll work with anything. EposVox is learning so many things tonight. Oh, the Nintendo 64 logo. I saw that. Sick. Okay, well that feels lazy. I mean, I don't know what else they would do. I don't know why that really bothered me. Those are clearly not in the buttons. I don't know. That really bugged me. And that one's rounded off, but the rest of them are. It looks like the effort started here and then just died off as we got out to here. That's okay. I can't imagine like masking all of that out anyway. It doesn't matter. Stream Deck is such an incredible product. So much more than just a tool for OBS. 100%. 100%. All right. So I originally set out for this stream to rework some of my GlitchArt stuff with you all so that I can actually get it done. And we're going to be working on that. We'll still be chatting and stuff. But just so you know what's going on, we're going to activate our good old PTZ camera. I don't know how much you're going to be able to see over the... they could have loaded the icons on a real Stream Deck. Yeah, exactly. I'll try to get you kind of zoomed in here. So, in case you're unaware of my workflow, which you can't exactly see here, but I can show you. Have you tried the 3D streaming app? I have not yet. So I'm actually gonna pick up. Oh, my webcam cable's too tight. No. This is gonna be jank. Hang on, I got this. This is gonna be so jank. So, down here, man, you really can't see that. That's unfortunate. I've got my big old 64 input, 64 output video switcher. I've got my time-based corrector, 2 VCRs, and then a whole bunch of little glitch effect pads and stuff all wired up. Problem is, accessing this and keeping it organized is already turning into a nightmare. So I want a table that goes here where the junk pile is of stuff that I pulled out of drawers that used to be here. And so I need to get a surface. I have one such surface for that. This camera is amazing, by the way. I did a sponsored video on it forever ago, and I think a lot of people just assumed I was lying about it because it's a sponsored video. This is the Huddlecam Hd USB Webcam. This is on auto settings. Like, it looks so good. It's a little bit darker through NDI on this feed. Like, it's a little darker through NDI, but it looks so incredibly good on auto settings out of the box. Like, this is one of the best looking auto settings webcams you can get, but it doesn't support 60 FPS, and a lot of people were mad about that. And the fact that I did a sponsored video on it, like, I think most people just didn't take it seriously, but like, hot damn, it is good. And they also sent me an NDI one, which I never have yet to make a video on. But theoretically it should just be the same, basically. And it has a remote somewhere to like zoom in and out with it and stuff too. Like, it's fixed focus like the PW513, so your sharpness factor is going to be in a specific spot, but like, doesn't this just look great for a webcam? How much? Honestly, I don't know. I don't even know what model this is offhand. Yeah, Huddlecam Hd is the brand, not the specific model. Cameras, webcams, Pro. I think it's the Pro. I'm pulling it up right now. Yeah, it's the Pro. Okay. Problem is, like, they sponsored a video and everything, and I love them. It's a B2B company, so actually figuring out where to buy it is a little annoying, because you have to buy it from, like, distributors. But we can also just Google search. There were stores selling it at one point. Yeah, $300. That's the problem. $299. It was cheaper, like, a couple years ago. I think it might have gone up with COVID and everything else, but $300 is a tough pill to swallow when like $250 is the highest they've been so far, especially given the specs. It is 4K, but it doesn't do 60 FPS. So people are getting really picky about webcam price points while still asking for better. But like this beats out the face cam, it beats out the Razer cam, and it beats out the Evermedia cam if you don't want 60 FPS. If you want 60 FPS, well, you're out of luck. That's the problem. But the PTZ is more interesting to me, yeah. Honestly, if I get the settings right in it, the PTZ cam will look just as good for the most part. Like, it's one of their best cameras, and it even has a lens filter thread mount so I can put my filters on it and stuff. But right now, the settings menus aren't working for me, so I haven't got that sorted yet. All right, let's close all these windows for now. So I'm going to move over. Yeah, the $79 price point for the Razer is an incredible value. It doesn't stay there, but like, it's hard to argue with a camera at that price. But you have to buy it at that price, and that's part of the problem. But okay, so wow, that's really delayed now. It wasn't that delayed before. That's unfortunate. Do I have a way to... Normal latency? Low latency. Low latency didn't even do anything. That's weird. Oh, I think it's caught up now. Okay. I still... when moving my entire workflow over to NDI, we still have some latency things to worry about, but I'll figure it out at some point. When you get up towards $300, you're getting to use camera territory. Definitely, like, for real. All right, so I have a table. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show you all this, but I want to. So I have, where's my remote? By the way, I've been running crazy long Ethernet runs and things like that, so my studio is a complete wreck, but I am making some structural changes, so that's partially why. You can't even see that. So I have that little... You need Stream Deck presets for the PTZ to snap to different angles. I don't know if the Stream Deck can do it, but the remote can. The remote's got presets. Frankly, I use a different angle every time I turn it, so I don't know how useful that would be right now. The point being, I have this cabinet right here from the old retro room setup. It has a bunch of retro stuff in it. Like Polaroid stuff and things like that. Originally, that did not have any purpose, and then suddenly it became the surface that I store my camera bodies on. But it's the only surface that I have available that I could use to put my GlitchArt stuff on. And so I am considering putting, like... I've got to figure out somewhere else to store my camera bodies, and then I'm gonna drag this over here and use it to put some of my video mixes on. That way I can use it here. And so I'm thinking my bottom drawer of my old drawers I had over here by the desk would be the right thing if the weight isn't too much. And that's gonna be the problem because they're cheapo plastic drawers. I love how accurate that is for even what it would hold for the time. The Herman with the Prime resub! Thank you. Much appreciated. So yeah, so we're gonna experiment with trying to put my cameras in the drawers here. So hopefully this camera will work for that purpose. It really looks dark on my screen. I don't know if it's because I have bright lights blasting me. No, it's a little darker than it usually is. Let's fix that. Hunter! With the gifted subs as I'm on the wrong scene because I was messing with stuff. Hunter, you mad lad! 5 tier 1 gifted subs. You have gifted 26 subs in this channel. You all are insane. Thank you so much. This gives me the perfect cover to go and tweak the color grade of this camera. Because it's a lot brighter before it goes through NDI. Iceorb gifted a tier 1 sub as well. Jesus, y'all. Alright. Pass my gift on to someone else. Hell yeah. Alright, this should be a little easier to see even if it looks less good. Y'all with your crazy gift and subs, I appreciate you all so much. We're at 114, 115 subs. Are you crazy? Jesus, y'all. That's too much. That's too much. Too much. Oh, Blizz got one as well. Lol. Anyway. Spain redeemed. Introduce yourself. Well, hello, Spain. Good night, Gav Attack. Thank you for stopping by the stream. I just realized, oh, it's a Gizmo that's going night-night. Thank you. See you later, Gizmo. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. So, I just realized as I was doing this, my smaller film bodies, the big 120 won't fit, but my smaller film bodies already have a tote that I have since pulled them out of. I can put them back into. So then I'm just left with my A7S II, which theoretically, whenever I get my lens fixed, is gonna be mounted as a webcam somewhere, and as is the A6400 here. So theoretically, they still need to float about anyway, because at some point, they're gonna be used soon. So then I have this camera, which can just go on a shelf until I use it. And in fact, I have a shelf right up here that will work. Okay. Yeah, like, so I don't have the camera body. So basically all that stuff is like a giant to-do pile. So I will piss a lot of you off and just set it in the floor. And then, yeah. My entire life is just moving things from one surface to another. This will stay here. It's part of the kit. These are not. Oh yeah, this is what happens when I apply a LUT from Resolve in OBS. I think it's a pretty sick look, but I don't know why it's happening. How are you piping the video out of your webcams? Most of them, yeah, are going into multi-input capture cards. But like this is like such a 90s vibe from what was a super basic color grade LUT. Like, I love this so much. It's so good. Like, accidental glitches are the best, and why I, like, love doing this stuff. It probably compresses completely terribly. But, like, the purples? Are you kidding me? The purples are amazing. I feel like I'm in a comic book. I'm like Steel Man. Nate from Legends of Tomorrow. The Elgato sweater makes the 10Ms better. Alright, I'm gonna pull the keyboard out of here. I switched to a wireless keyboard trackpad setup for this setup, so I don't need the actual keyboard. I don't know what camera. Oh, I do. I know what camera to show here. I swear I'm actually cleaning all this stuff up off camera. It's just in the way here. Actually, first person camera, I have my, I have my little Insta360 Go 2 that I would love to find a way to stream from, because it can stream to my phone. So if I can pipe that to the computer and get it going off of here, like, I would 100% use that. It's Insta360 Go 2. Alright, so we have my synth. And we can get my title maker on here. If I can get the cables routed the right way, the power cord does not reach. So for now, it'll sit off to the side. I'll just turn my mic to face me here. But I'll have to reroute that power cable or get an extension cord. I got our handy dandy camcorder. So I got a lot of rerouting to do to make this stuff fit, but that's kind of the plan here. Yeah. I had originally set all this up with like loose cables so stuff would reach, but I'm finding it doesn't reach as much as I would like. So I'm 100% gonna have to reroute the switch a bit. Yeah, none of this will reach to the shelf. So the goal is to have the shelf hold everything. But I'm having trouble. So we're going to try to mess with this. Insta360 Pro camera control app does have a Windows app. Unlikely. It's pretty much always mobile only with that stuff. Ooh! Chest strap using Droid Cam on a secondary phone. Oh, Windows, Mac, iOS, Android. Okay, what was it called? Insta360 Pro camera control app? But yes, especially if I get like a wide angle lens for one of those cameras or for one of those phones, I might do that. All right, I'm gonna download this and see if it works for it. Oh, it's only compatible with the Pro 2, and the Titan. I have the Go 2, which does not have a Windows program. Only Android and iOS. 'Cause thanks, companies. I'm gonna blow my nose real quick. But other than the fact that most of my older phones have crappy battery life, that may actually be the play. Wireless Droid Cam and a little wide angle lens or something. I've got spare phones, like I said, they just have not super great battery life. Alright, so we need to... What I think I might have to do is take my switcher and put it up here, but then I have to really be careful how to route the wires for everything else. I am running Windows 11, but I'm not running it on Insider build because it's my main workstation, so there's no Windows Android subsystem yet. It's only in the Insider builds. Alright, yeah, I think I want to take the rack stuff, but then I'm out of surface already. I'm trying to figure out the workflow here. everything runs to the back of the switcher. I might have picked up... I picked up new composite cables. I think I only got 2 that are 12 feet, though, so those... I'm really trying to make this work. Would it work through the Your Phone app? I don't know. We're talking like 3 steps of compression and wireless, so at that point, I'd rather just use the phone directly. If I'm using the phone anyway. When in doubt, folding tables save the day. We have a little camping table. Like, the problem isn't really the table. Like, I have no more room for tables other than what I just put here. The problem is getting the cables to reach. If I move the rack switcher, I could still set most of the gear on top of it. This sucks. Yeah. I think I gotta unplug a couple things and try to move the switch. And that's gonna blow. Alright. We can do it, though. I'm trying to figure out the camera angle to show you this best with. Maybe a little... Something like that. Make the Android phones work over USB, but adapt the USB to PoE RJ45. Jesus. Alright, so I need this big old 4 or 5U switch moved up here, but I don't know about all the cables routing. So we're about to get some bending over shots. Let's cover my butt. We can make this work, ladies and gentlemen. I believe in us, I think. Okay. Taking the camera out of the equation first, so it's just out of the way. If I'm running HDMI, I'm tethered to the desk. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. All right. Maybe I move everything up to that table. But then the cables are all exposed. I didn't really want that. The cables are going to be exposed anyway if I move the switch up here. I have all these in a specific order. I don't want to change all that. I'm gonna have to unplug stuff. I really didn't want to unplug stuff. See you later, Lego Jedi. Thank you for hanging out with me. Yeah, we gotta start unplugging. I am so frustrated right now. All right, help me remember. Green in middle for 1, blue in middle for 2. Remember that, chat. We're not gonna remember any of this. Shit. All right, never mind. I'm so mad. I built up this whole workflow thinking it would work. It's not gonna work. This is hell. I just spent hours building this, like a week ago. Nope, 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 nope. What is happening? Something's caught. Oh God, I'm never getting this wired again. Ugh. Oh, and it was all cable managed. I know it doesn't look like it, but everything's zip tied. Alright. Everything is unplugged except for power. Those are heavy. Oh my God. There. Well, I was so stoked for this freaking setup, man. Alright. Now we're limited by a super short power cable, so I'm gonna unplug that. Move the synth for now. I can assure you this part of the process is not the part that I love. You can't even see the big cable mess I'm pulling trying to, like, move this. We're gonna have to unplug everything and just start over. Oh my God. Yep, we're doing it. There's no going back. Like 32 inputs here. Oh, this hurts. It hurts. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Things I do for you, chat. All of this so I can make some animated GIFs and wallpapers. Patreon.com/GlitchArt, by the way. Ugh. Okay. I feel like I want it at like an angle. I don't want it to fall, but I also don't want it like taking up the main stage of the surface. Why? This table is not big enough to also house the VCRs though, so those 100% have to go back in the floor where all this other stuff was. Okay. So I want to plan this out before I start wiring. A little bit of that action there. That might be the best fit. Teresa's raid with the party of 7. Thank you so much. Raid. Thank you. Thank you so much. You came in at a very weird time as we are completely like ripping out the analog glitch setup I just got set up and rebuilding it. Thank you so much for the raid. Greatly appreciated. Hope you all are having a wonderful weekend. We are doing some weird stuff here on stream, let me tell you. Alright, this is the last piece. Oh, my camera fell. This is the last piece of the puzzle. I feel like it'll fit nicely there. Probably. Oh, come on, camera. Please. Please. Oh. Well. Close enough. I feel like having the title maker over here fits really nicely on the surface, but I'm gonna be looking at the overlay is StreamOS from Nerd or Die. By the way, you can save 15% over at eposvox.gg/nerd-or-die. It's their StreamOS overlay. I'm in the trailer because it was made for me, basically. But yeah, I feel like having this over here fits best, but I'm gonna be using the CRT here, so like, I think I need to rotate this. The synth comes off for now. This puts the wires, like, out into the studio and wrapping around, which isn't ideal, but I guess you're not gonna see this angle. Especially if I move it closer. Title maker makes way more sense here. And the camcorder can, like, I guess. That was close. That jack is probably broken now, because it just caught by the composite jack. Please, 80s or 90s electronics be made better than modern ones. It still feels pretty sturdy, but it could have totally busted. Alright, well the point was it can sit on the back of the rack here if it doesn't freaking fall. There we go. What's Epos been working on? We are trying to rebuild my GlitchArt setup because I just spent hours upon hours wiring it the other day and I can't really reach anything effectively. So we're trying to address that. I thought I'd be able to do it without rewiring the whole thing, and that turned out to not be the case. So we now have all of these to rewire. Thankfully, I took notes. I know what goes to what in terms of the numbers. I don't know how to show you all that part, so I may go grab another camera here. How do I want to do this? Let me think here. That might work. I can go sit back there and you can kind of see me. You know what? No. We'll turn it around first. We'll get everything plugged in and then get it sorted into place. Hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend. I know this is weird as shit. I wonder what kind of wacky effects can be produced due to an interfered AV cable. You can check out my GlitchArt page for that. All right. So this ran somewhere specific. So I use a mix of component and composite cables, as some of the stuff we're running has multiple inputs and outputs, so I can just use the RGB of the component cable to account for multiple inputs. Man, I had this system perfect before. I feel like I'm at a loss of where to start. All right, so PC 1, 2, 3 are the inputs. I can run the PC input that way. I need to route it behind the computer real quick, though. That cable is way too short. I have replacements. See you later, Slashy! This one is not any longer. That does not feel much longer. It's fine. It's fine. I'm specifically not gonna add that command just because you said that. Alright. Got a camera input that goes into 4 and 5. The problem is if I have this flipped here, yeah, I should probably do this off camera, because if I have it flipped, I'm not going to have cables routed the right way. I guess this is what I'm spending my night doing. Yeah. Alright. I thought I'd be able to do this on stream, but I don't think that's gonna work if I'm gonna actually route it places. As is 2 streams in a row, I intended to end the stream doing GlitchArt and instead tinker with the setup. So hopefully later in this week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, everybody. I'm probably gonna wrap it up here. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. We will do cool stuff very soon, I promise. See ya, I guess. Sorry. I don't have another camera angle. That's my biggest problem right now. I don't have a camera out here, and I don't know. We got good stuff to show you. Appreciate your help with the titles and the thumbnails and the art and the encouragement with this setup. Stay tuned. See you later. Bye.